After more than a year of intense warfare, Ukraine's landscape bears the scars of conflict. Cities that were once bustling hubs of commerce, education, and culture have been reduced to ruins. Entire neighborhoods have been flattened, critical infrastructure obliterated, and vital resources depleted. The extent of the damage is staggering, with some estimates suggesting that Ukraine may need over $400 billion to rebuild its infrastructure. This figure continues to grow as the conflict drags on. But beyond the physical destruction, the emotional and psychological toll on the population is just as profound. Millions have been displaced, both internally and externally, seeking refuge in neighboring countries or safer regions within Ukraine. Families have been torn apart, and countless lives have been lost. The road to reconstruction will not just be about rebuilding cities and infrastructure, it will also require addressing the social and psychological scars left behind. Agriculture has historically been the backbone of Ukraine's economy, earning the country its title as the breadbasket of Europe. But war has severely disrupted this sector. Before the war, Ukraine was a top global exporter of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil. The Black Sea grain corridor was a lifeline for international food security. Now, agricultural output has plummeted. Farmers face multiple challenges: mined fields, destroyed equipment, and the loss of access to key export routes. Re-establishing Ukraine's agricultural sector will be essential to economic recovery, but it will require significant investment and international cooperation. Beyond agriculture, Ukraine's industrial sector has also been severely impacted. Manufacturing plants have been destroyed, supply chains disrupted, and many workers have either been displaced or are serving in the military. Reviving these industries will be essential for generating employment and stimulating the economy. However, the economic devastation extends beyond production sectors. Tourism, small businesses, and services have all ground to a halt due to the conflict. To rebuild the economy, Ukraine will need a comprehensive plan that includes attracting foreign investment, securing international loans and aid, and fostering an environment of stability that can draw back both domestic and international businesses. The country's leadership will have to balance the need for immediate reconstruction with long-term economic sustainability. Across Ukraine, roads, bridges, power stations, water supply systems, and communication networks have been destroyed. Transport and logistics are essential for economic recovery, and without functioning infrastructure, rebuilding efforts will be severely hampered. In many regions, electricity and water supply have been disrupted for months, especially in the heavily contested eastern areas. Restoring essential services is one of the immediate priorities for the Ukrainian government and international agencies involved in reconstruction efforts. International donors have pledged billions of dollars in aid to help Ukraine rebuild its infrastructure. But beyond the immediate restoration of basic utilities, the long-term challenge will be to rebuild infrastructure that is more resilient and modern. This includes building smart cities, sustainable energy solutions, and robust public transportation networks that can withstand future threats. An estimated 14 million Ukrainians have been displaced by the war, both within the country and abroad. The loss of human capital is one of the greatest challenges Ukraine faces. Many of those who fled were skilled professionals, teachers, engineers, healthcare workers, leaving significant gaps in the workforce. For those who remain, trauma has become a constant companion. Children have grown up amidst the sound of air raids and bombings. Adults have lost homes, jobs, and loved ones. The emotional scars left by the conflict will take years, if not decades, to heal. In addition to providing shelter and basic necessities to those displaced, Ukraine will need to implement large-scale psychological support programs to help citizens cope with the trauma of war. Mental health services, already scarce before the war, will need to be dramatically expanded. Another major challenge will be integrating those who return home after the war. Many Ukrainian refugees have found temporary homes in countries like Poland, Germany, and the Czech Republic. As the conflict eventually draws to a close, a mass repatriation could bring millions of people back to a country still in the early stages of reconstruction. The logistical challenges of reintegrating such a large population, finding them housing, jobs, and education, will be immense. Post-war reconstruction won't just be about bricks and mortar. Ukraine will also need to address significant political challenges if it hopes to build a stable and prosperous future. Ukraine has long struggled with issues of corruption and governance. While the war has unified much of the country, it has also exposed deep systemic weaknesses in the political system. The Reconstruction period will be an opportunity for Ukraine to implement meaningful reforms that many believe are necessary to secure greater integration with the European Union and ensure long-term stability. The international community will play a vital role in Ukraine's reconstruction. However, foreign governments and international organizations will likely demand stringent oversight and transparency in how funds are used. Ukraine's leaders will need to demonstrate that they are committed to anti-corruption efforts, transparency, and accountability. The scale of Ukraine's reconstruction efforts means that no single nation can bear the financial burden alone. The international community will need to play a leading role in funding and coordinating the rebuilding process. The United States, European Union, and international organizations such as the World Bank have already committed billions in aid. However, ensuring that this aid is effectively deployed will require careful coordination and oversight. Reconstruction projects will need to be tightly coordinated to avoid duplication of efforts and to ensure that funds are being directed to the areas where they are most needed. While international aid is crucial, Ukraine must also consider how to leverage its own resources and expertise. Ukrainian companies, workers, and experts must be involved in the reconstruction process to ensure that the rebuilding efforts are both sustainable and rooted in local needs. One of the most pressing challenges in Ukraine's post-war reconstruction will be clearing the country of the remnants of war. Mines, unexploded shells, and other hazards litter the landscape, making large areas of the country dangerous to live in or farm. The United Nations has estimated that Ukraine could become one of the most mined countries in the world as a result of the war. Clearing these dangerous areas will be a time-consuming and costly process, but it is essential for both the safety of the population and the recovery of the agricultural sector. Beyond immediate security concerns, Ukraine will need to rebuild its military and defense capabilities to protect against future threats. The war has highlighted the vulnerabilities in Ukraine's defense infrastructure, and any future peace must be built on a foundation of strong security measures. Throughout the conflict, Ukraine has demonstrated an incredible sense of unity and resilience. Citizens have come together to defend their nation, support one another, and maintain a sense of normalcy amid chaos. As the country moves into the reconstruction phase, maintaining this social cohesion will be critical. The war has strengthened the Ukrainian sense of national identity, and this unity will be an essential element in the country's recovery. However, there are also deep divisions, particularly in the regions most affected by the conflict. Ukraine will need to focus on healing divisions, promoting reconciliation, and fostering a sense of inclusion for all citizens, regardless of region or ethnicity. This will involve both grassroots efforts, community rebuilding, education, and cultural initiatives, as well as broader national policies aimed at promoting social cohesion. Ukraine's path to reconstruction will be long, difficult, and fraught with challenges. The damage is immense, the costs are staggering, and the road ahead is uncertain. But through determination, international cooperation, and a commitment to reform and resilience, Ukraine can rise from the ashes of war. The people of Ukraine have shown incredible strength and perseverance in the face of unimaginable hardship. As the country begins the long process of rebuilding, it will need the support of the global community, as well as the unwavering determination of its citizens, to overcome the challenges ahead.